Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Del mar los vieron llegar. Mis hermanos emplumados serán los hombres barbados de la profecía esperada. Se oyó la voz del monarca de que el Dios había llegado y les abrimos la puerta por temor a lo ignorado. Iban montados en bestias, como demonios del mal, iban con fuego en las manos y cubiertos de metal. Solo el valor de unos cuantos les opuso resistencia, y al mirar correr la sangre se llenaron de vergüenza, porque los dioses ni comen ni gozan con lo robado. Y cuando nos dimos cuenta, ya todo estaba acabado, y en ese error entregamos la grandeza del pasado, y en ese error nos quedamos 300 años esclavos. Se nos quedó el maleficio de brindar al extranjero nuestra fe, nuestra cultura, nuestro pan, nuestro dinero, y le seguimos cambiando oro por cuentas de vidrio, y damos nuestras riquezas por sus espejos con brillo. Hoy, en pleno siglo XX, nos siguen llegando rubios y les abrimos la casa y los llamamos amigos. Pero si llega cansado un indio de andar la sierra, lo humillamos y lo vemos como extraño por su tierra. Tú, hipócrita que te muestras humilde ante el extranjero, pero te vuelves soberbio con tus hermanos del pueblo. Oh, maldición de Malinche, enfermedad del presente, ¿cuándo dejarás mi tierra? ¿Cuándo harás libre a mi gente?
El autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Okay, here we go. All right, fam. Okay, so here's what we got going on. All right, so I was gonna do a class today regarding this. Okay, I said that yesterday, but brother Sonny asked me from Streets Ain't Loyal if I could do a little collaboration with him on his channel regarding the topic of La Llorona. The weeping woman. That concept, right? The one I talked about here before. So what we're going to do is we're going to chime in. I think he's still live, but we're going to start at where, I came in. It probably won't go that long, but I think you guys are going to like it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't long-winded. Like, the classes I normally do, play some videos and stuff. I got to the point. I shared like 4 or 5 books. Please take notes. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you'll appreciate it. You that have been following this channel, you understand exactly the parables, the connection, like how we relate to certain things. So I think you guys will appreciate this today. Okay, let's begin. Again, it's La Llorona with Sonny. I appreciate you, brother, if you catch this class later on. And once again, I think he's still live. He's probably going to end pretty soon. So I'm just going to, coattail off the section that I was in, and then we're going to call it that day. Okay, so let's chime in. Thank you. Appreciate y'all for being here, man. Oh, that's right. Saludos, Brown Ray. Appreciate you, brother. And then 1958 Impala, bro. Let's go.
Let's go, Sonny Fuero. I'm just waiting for MESHIACHA, homie. Bipolar, let's go. I'm down to go ghost hunting, Güero. Are you? I am. I'll take you to a spot. If you think you were scared before, it'll freak you the fuck out, homie. Nothing major players. Joker from Bipolar. All right, you guys. Sin Dog, did you watch the movie? Carnal, yes, I did. What do you mean? We're going to find out. Yes, we're going to find out. We're going to speak about La Llorona. And here we go, you guys. We have Mexica in the house. How you doing, Mexica? Hold on a second.
Hey, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
I got to get the earphones on. Okay.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
How you doing, dog?
Bien. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right.
And we have Mexica in the house.
Yes, sir. Hold on a second. Hold on. I want to give you this one. Hold on.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
Little
All
back.
right, homie.
All right. Hey, man, I hope, thank you, bro. First of all, for, asking me to come on. Dude, I appreciate that very much. Saludos to everybody that's here. Yeah, we're gonna get into this topic, man, because a lot of our gente really doesn't know too much of like where the history comes from, or
Okay, so we have the tale of La Llorona by Sin Dog, used by Mexican parents to discourage the children from staying out too late, especially familias in rural areas close to bodies of water. So
yeah,
we have people that believe that Llorona murdered her children, and that she's held from the afterlife until she finds her children.
Yeah.
So you're here to dispute that, correct?
That's the rumor. Yeah, man, because technically, at a real story is usually there's folklore, like there's always a true story and a folklore outside of it. For whatever reason, it just turned out to be, I mean, obviously, like I told you, I can take this a lot of different routes. So there's a reason why they gave us La Llorona, a real big purpose. And today I'm going to hopefully show you guys some examples of that. If you don't mind, I'll share my screen with you so we can.
And the first thing I want to do, though,
go for it.
We got to keep this as entertaining as possible.
Yeah.
Because people do tend to just flake off because it's not, doesn't keep their attention, you know what I mean? So I want to do this a little different as possible, you know what I mean? If you don't mind.
No. Go for it. However you want to run, you let me know.
So,
by the way, you have a brother Güero. You have his post still visible, and it may block some of the stuff that I'm going to share. Just giving you a heads up.
Okay, that's fine. I have your post up right now, and it's showing the head figure of a Native American, correct?
Yep. That's it. That's it, man. That's my background. Okay. So do you want me to start kind of initially, or what do you want me to do?
Let me ask you something.
Yeah, go.
Okay, La Llorona. We have a perception of La Llorona. It is a mother that is usually by a body of water. That the folklore is that she had murdered her children out of rage for jealousy because of her husband, something that her husband did. So her way of getting back at her husband was to murder his children.
Right.
Then she regretted it, so she stayed crying by a body of water looking for her children.
Right.
And that is the folklore. That is the rumor. That is what we have grown up to learn. And parents have told our kids this in order to keep them away from running the streets late at night, especially by bodies of water. Correct?
Yeah, for the most part, that is the folklore. In Mexico, we all knew who La Llorona was. Like, we knew her story, and she drowned some kids, especially in like El Día de los Muertos, around that time. Over there in Guadalajara, we had something called Fiestas de Octubre. If you guys are from Jalisco, you probably know what I'm talking about. And it would run from October until the end of October, which was November 1st. And then November, obviously, the follow-up month would be, like, se me hace que es el 2nd of November, if I'm not mistaken, or the 1st. And there was a big deal, especially when you tell, scary stories and shit.
in regards to the telling the kids so they can scare them, maybe, I mean, that's probably some stuff you can find in pueblos, you know what I mean? Pero like where I'm from, we did not hear that for that reason. It was just a scary story, you know what I mean?
So now we have one other question by Sindal. He should already know, but he doesn't. Who are you? And what is your function?
That's right, dude. So my bad. So I got a channel called MESHIACHA Chronicles. I go by Brother Joshua. All I do is I pretty much teach our people who we are according to history. I also bring up Bible information. A lot of my material is Spanish and English, so I don't just share stuff in English. If that's what he's asking, that's pretty much what it's about.
Okay, so let's get into this. What are we looking at? Tell me about La Llorona. What is she? What is the truth to what we know?
Okay, so let me do this. Here it goes. Can I share my screen with you now?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna go to, first of all, I have a couple books, but I'm going to start with I think it'll probably be better to do the this one. All right. So the book is called it's by Neftali de Leon, La Llorona, a spirit unable to rest. Now, by the way, I do have material in Spanish, so what I'll do is I'll translate it through our translation, on Google, okay? So you guys can see. And I'm gonna try to go fast so I don't bore you guys at all right? But in this particular book, it talks about that particular that folklore, right? A spirit unable to rest. So you see here, introduction, La Llorona, a spirit unable to rest, background and platform for modern urban legend. A spirit unable to rest, yada yada yada, right? And you guys can actually, find this book online, and if you want to, you can purchase it. Once again, it's La Llorona, a spirit unable to rest, un anima que no descansa, right? So we're gonna go to page 12. Here you will see the introduction, okay? Background and platform for a modern urban legend. But I'm just gonna get to the point. All right, so we don't waste time. This is on page, sorry, I'm trying to magnify for you guys. So this is on page 12, okay? It says here, La Llorona is the story of a spirit that refuses to die. It begins in such a remote antiquity and on such an elaborate platform that time has enhanced its presence rather than diminish it. Yes, it has evolved, but you see that word, evolved. But it took shape in the cauldron of creation, in the burst of gods and goddesses coming into being. It says this was the time when the Mexica, and if you can see, pronounced Mexica, Cheeki. That's why I write it with SH to mess around with it. And the I mean my name, like my channel, Mexica Chronicles, and Mesoamerican tribes were establishing their source of origin. Okay, so now I'm going to skip a little bit here, and I'm going to go to this section. The Mexica, a Nahuatl, in case brothers don't know, and sisters too, by the way, the way you pronounce Nahuatl is not Nahuatl. The brother's been teaching me some of the pronunciations, and it's Nahuatl. Like you put your tongue against your teeth and I don't know how else to put it, just Nahuatl, all right? So it says a Nahuatl speaking people, also known as the Aztecs, that built splendorous cities of stone and majestic scales and persisting wonders, all right? So we know exactly who he's referring to. Now here it says, it's just kind of giving us a history of particular names, towns, of people, or so-called gods as well, all right? So now, I'm going to get to the next page, 13. It says, La Llorona, and here's where it gets really important. When we should not forget about this at all. It says here, La Llorona. Hold on, let me move this here. Sorry, the screens. Make sure I don't miss anything here. Okay, it says here that La Llorona is directly connected to the mother creator of humanity. So that's also important, right? Cihuacuatl, the serpent lady goddess. Cihuatl means woman, Coat means serpent. Right? The serpent is a symbol of spiritual intelligence. Kind of explaining it. So now check this out. Second paragraph. Here's where what we typically hear. It is said that La Llorona is the spirit of a woman in eternal search for her children that she drowned, right? Like you said, that's the history. That's what we were taught. That's whatever, everybody's household, mentions. But it's way beyond that. But the tragedy is based on a deeper and historically real continental catastrophe, right? So it says here that Xihuacuatl was an all-knowing goddess. She knew, watch, this is the important part that really stood out to me and that I never want you brothers or sisters to forget, okay? Because this is a premonition. So La Llorona was a premonition. It wasn't some lady who drowned her kids. She knew like Mother Earth or Bachumama or Machupa. So I forget how to pronounce it. Yeah, like on Mother Earth, right? She knew that forces from other parts of the world would attack the Mexica Empire and bring its destruction. So as you can see in the first sentence, it says, yeah, the eternal search of she drowned her kids, that's what we all knew, like you mentioned. But here it's saying it's way beyond that. It's deeper than that. It's actually, she knew that forces from other parts of the world, because what happened in 1492? Other people from up another part of the world, they came. Sure no. So it says, hold on, let me see. She knew that the forces from other parts of the world would attack the Mexica Empire and bring its destruction. Hers was the first scream in Nahuatl that would cry, "Ay, mis hijos," oh, my children, right? So this was an apparition, a sound. And I'm going to show you guys other examples, other books that I have that express that. They saw like 10 apparitions and this was one of them. It says here, hers was the first scream in Nahuatl that would cry, "Ay, mis hijos," shortly before Hernán Cortés landed in Veracruz in 1519. The warning anguish cry could already be heard in the kingdom. It says, "Oh, no, I don't even know. Oh, Nyokonkoni, I guess. Oh, my children." So now, let me pause real quick. With regards to the question you asked, does that at least answer part of it as to how deeper it is than just some drowned kids?
Yes, of course it does.
Okay, perfect.
Adds a little context to it.
There you go. Thank you. Now, let's continue. It says, in Aztec Nahuatl, La Llorona becomes Chocani or Sihuachocani. Choca meaning to cry or to weep, right? Sihuat means woman, the crying woman, or the weeping woman. Okay. Now, a lot of us, I don't know, and I'll just kind of brush it in real quick. A lot of us are religious. A lot of us grew up Catholic, right, for the most part. And we know about, in case you didn't, in the Bible, it talks about a weeping woman as well. And it says it that way. But I'm going to throw that in there because it's going to come up later on. Okay, whether we like it or not, it's going to come up. It says here, the Codices Florentino of Fray Bernardo Sacajun, which, by the way, in case you guys don't know, this guy here had a lot of art history, okay? A lot of our artifacts. He was writing a lot about who we were, but Bishop Sumarraga, who had all the power at that time, denied his artifacts, took away everything he had, and told him not to write anything about our people that had to do pretty much that, hey, maybe we actually did hear about God before these guys came over here. Get what I mean? So it says here that general history of things in New Spain. Now, the book is the book 7, chapter 1. It was printed in 1793. And it says here in chapter 1 that it recorded the 6 known omen that would announce the fall of the empire. So this is why it is like so tragic that our gente does not realize that our folklore means a lot more than just the folklore. When we have the ability to have a premonition of something that's about to happen, it's because those are signs as a reminder that we're still here, that we never left. You get what I mean? They might have said and they destroyed us, whatever, and we all mixed. No. That's total BS. So that's why I say this type of history should matter to us, because it's bringing you to remembrance of something important. We knew that the empire was going to fall. So 1492 was not necessarily like, oh my God, they caught us off surprise. Nah, we kind of understood this. And the Llorona has everything to do with that. Okay. So here it says here in the omen of Nahuatl follows by its English translation. So I'm not going to read that. I'm going to read this. It says the sixth omen was that in those days they heard voices in the air like a woman who was crying, who would say, "Oh, my children, we're becoming lost." Other times he would say, "Oh, my children, where will they take you?" Now, a lot of our people don't know this, but in case you don't know, the Atlantic slave trade started with us. They took our people all over the world, from Spain to Africa to India to China, up north, down south. And there's a book called Global Indios that shows this actual, like proof, because there were actual court cases from our gente going to court, trying to get freedom to come back to the Americas. So the potential of some nation from afar, strange, was about to show up. And the Llorona was the weeping woman, mother saying, "Where are my children going to go?" Right? That's one example. Okay. You want me to pause in case you have any questions?
Yeah, people are not too sure.
Okay.
What the reference to what La Llorona is saying to kids, like to a lot of people, just her saying, looking for her kids, crying for her kids. It's very simple, but you're saying it's more than just her weeping for her kids. Her kids are not
like
actually what she's weeping for. She's not really weeping for her kids.
No. Like this is not a woman that's crying for specific children. This is a woman of spirit, the mother spirit of this land, weeping for the children that are about to get slaughtered. And those children are us, our people, our gente from 1492 forward that did go through this decimation. They weren't colonists. They were invaders. They weren't, civilizers, right? They were rapists. That's what they were.
So she's speaking for something that hasn't quite happened just yet.
Exactly.
She's speaking for something that's going to happen that she foresees.
Exactly.
And her foreseeing is the
1492.
Is her seeing our future and her looking at us like her children. Correct?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. We are those children that are about to get decimated by smallpox, by slavery, by the conquering of our lands, destruction of our buildings, our codices, our language, our heritage, everything. Bringing a nation with another language, another actual, religion, right? Totally destroyed ours. Regardless of what religion, regardless of what religion you think we were, the point is that they destroyed that religion or that faith that we had here once. And
we have somebody asking, who's narrating this?
What do you mean?
You're reading it from somebody else that's narrating this, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you more examples as to who actually said these things. These are our people saying these things. Yeah, these are our people saying these things.
All right.
Right, we're good? Okay.
Yes.
All right, same book, page 17. It says, within its origins in the heartland of Mexico, this ghost legend spread north to the borders with Canada and into Colombia and Brazil and South America, right? It is the iconic ghost legend of the Americas, vying for a continental popularity only with the Virgen Maria, Virgen de Guadalupe. And I bring this up because that is extremely important, right? Like that's extremely important because in a way, religion used the Virgen de Maria to compensate for the spirit of the weeping woman, right? Now, I don't want to get too much into it because I want to stick to the point, but just I'm throwing some stuff out there because I will, if you allow me, I'll bring you some scriptures to prove also this point as well. It says, it is no exaggeration to say that these two icons, La Llorona and La Virgen de Guadalupe, best reflect the character, the history, and the spiritual religious foundation of the present-day Mexican people on both sides of the Mexico and United States border. The reason he's showing this example is because the Virgen de Guadalupe lost her son, right? La Llorona, the spirit, lost her son, but her son is all of us. All of us. And I'm going to give you an example of that later on as well. All right.
Okay.
Let's see. It is no coincidence that, like, I skipped to the next paragraph. It is no coincidence that La Llorona is central, pivotal, and seminal to a catastrophic time in the history of the American continent. You see that? It is no coincidence. And it says, while Sihuacuat at early Llorona was already crying for her children that would be decimated. You see that? Like you said. So it was a premonition. It wasn't currently happening. It was about to happen. From the material that I have that I'll show you, it says that these things were happening like 10 years prior already, before the Spaniards showed up. Okay. And then it says here, would be decimated in, okay, here it goes. Let me read that again. While Sihuacuat, the weeping woman, the early Llorona, was already crying for her children that would be decimated, invaded, and colonized up to our present times, in spite of the revolutions and days of the independence to come. The footprint and iron hand of the sword and the cross were already being planned at the Vatican of Rome. Remember, keep in mind, they were passing papal bulls. You guys, do you know what that is?
No.
So what he's talking about in this time, 10 years before 1492, the Vatican was already writing papal bulls, right? Papal bulls regarding, conquering lands, right? Okay. 1493, 1520. There were papal bulls from, I believe, 1484. You see that? That's another papal bull. So that was like actual laws by the Pope that were pretty much, in a sense, saying, well, we're gonna go and invade people and turn savages into Christians. So it was already happening, remember? Right? Mm-hmm. So that's what it says. That it says here, La Llorona was already crying for her children that would be decimated, invaded, and colonized up to our present time, in spite of the revolutions and days of the independence to come. The footprint and iron hand of the sword and the cross was already being planned at the Vatican in Rome, meaning these guys were already writing papal bulls to start taking lands from everybody, Africa, all these other places, India. That's where, a lot of the papal bull of 1493 expanded the split between Spain and Portugal. So Portugal, under the papal bull, kept Africa, and Spain kept the Americas, right? And then Portugal, under the papal bull, I think it was based on the equinoctial line, meaning the middle of the world, was they would keep the lower end and Spain the upper end. That's why you see a lot of more Portuguese in Brazil, right?
Okay.
Right. So anyways, so that says this happened just 7 months after Christopher Columbus stumbled hungry, lost, and confused in October 12th, 1492, into the islands of the Bahamas that he named San Salvador. So just to pause real quick, right, before we go here, can you, and in case anybody wants to ask any questions regarding this section, because I think this is really, really important at this moment. Like now we see that La Llorona actually has a background about our people being decimated, being invaded, and being colonized, right? By who? Yeah. By the people that came in 1492. Have you guys ever heard of La Llorona's story being about that?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Hello? Do you hear me?
I'm here. No, I'm here.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of anything other than it being a forklift. No,
right. I was wondering if anybody might ask a question on this subject just to make sure that we keep it, like you said, interesting.
Yeah. No, Vatican is the synagogue of the enemy from Taco. How makes sense of much of iconography across ancient Mesoamerica.
Let me read it. Help me make sense of much iconography across the ancient Americas. Well, I mean, that's going to kind of like drive the topic elsewhere. You know what I mean, brother? Yeah. So
yeah, no, let's keep it on topic.
Right. Tari Kuri? I can answer that another time, just not today, because we're trying to stick to this topic. Let me just continue real quick. We're almost done with this book. And then so here is basically the example. In May 4th, 1492, Pope Alexander VI, issued a papal bull in his Inter Caetera on the matters, granting to the Catholic majestic Ferdinand and Isabella, Crown of Spain, the newly discovered lands. You see that? So they had already written papal bull in 1484. Then they rewrote one in 1492 to authorize Spain to keep these lands. So that's where it means like, hey, this was already happening. Like the weeping woman concept was already here. It was a premonition. Okay. Let's see. So 17.
Quick,
Yeah.
I got a question from Monique. She has listening, but are you meaning to say La Llorona is the Virgin Mary?
No, they use that as a method to manipulate you to worship a Virgin Mary. No offense to anybody that worships that image, but even they knew that was fake. Juan Diego, like that was invented by Sumarraga. And it's all purposeful. You see, they take something from you spiritually because that spirit really is all of us. Like we are the children, so-called, of this land, right? The land is the mother, we are the children. By giving us another mother, that causes what? We lose our connection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't understand, like, wait, hold on a second. We lose our spirit. Because somebody, you know how it is, bro. Somebody gives you a spirit of theirs, and if they have a wicked spirit, and you hang out around with them long enough, that shit will jump on you.
Yes.
Yep. So, all right. Any more questions?
I don't think so right now.
Let's continue. Same page 17. It says this discovery doctrine is so seminal to the continental theft that it is one of the first lessons taught today in law school in the United States, to the embarrassment of professors and serious thinkers who know that such a basis for land claim cannot hold a drop of water. He was just talking about how technically it's like a robbery. You know what I mean? So the Virgen Maria should be a reminder, a reminiscent of you, me, or brothers or sisters, of what occurred to us as a collective group. Like they didn't just come and demolish just one of us. They did this to all of us. Por eso hablamos inglés. That's why hablamos español, right? So let's see here. Let me go. So as you can see, look, here's some examples of how the Mother Earth concept really, has a big impact on all our people all over the Americas. This is page 18. For the American natives of Semanahuac, land surrounded by water, Turtle Island, and Pachamama, Earth Mother. Unaware that they were being discovered, the lost search of India by the Europeans in 1492 was a tantamount to the comet that struck Mexico, southern state of Yucatan. So, this is just adding a little bit more to the story. So let me go ahead and move on from this because I don't want to. Hold on, where are you? Are you over here? Oh, hold on a second. Give me a second. Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, so now I'm going to show you this book here. Where are you at? Right here. Okay. And this one's in Spanish. So I'm going to highlight the section. Okay. So then you can see what he's actually saying. So if you guys never heard of a book called, here, I'll show you, A Broken Spear. What is this one? No, hold on. A Broken Spear book. That one. You see this book here? This book, A Broken Spear, right? Right. So that guy is this guy. The Broken Spear was translated in English later on. Okay? But this is the original book. This is where they get it from. Okay? Now on page 56, I'm gonna copy this here so we can just read it real quick, okay?
Okay.
Translation. Boom. All right. So now everything's in Spanish. As you can see, what I highlighted, I'm gonna read it to you in English. All right. So it says here, chapter 1, and we're in the this one again. The book is called León Portillo Crónicas Indígenas, Visión de los Vencidos. The vision of the of the conquered, right? Visions of the conquered, Visiones de los Vencidos. Okay, so translated, first paragraph, it says here, chapter 1, omens of the coming of the Spaniards. Okay? Hear that, the omen of the coming of the Spaniards. It says that the indigenous documents presented in the first 13 chapters of this book covers events that occurred from shortly before the arrival of Spaniards of the Gulf of Mexico coast in the final scene. So it says Mexico Tenochtitlan in the hands of conquerors. The last two chapters, 14 and 15, offer a conclusion, the account of conquest written in 1528. Right, excuse me, yada, 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 right? Okay, so let me get ahead here real quick. I want to get to the algunas cosas que presentan ciertas variantes de viges sobre prendor, histórica plantan. All right, I'm going to show you this one here real quick. Hold on, let me go next one. Sorry about that, man. Okay, here we go. All right, so it's talking about the omens. All right, so as you can see, primer presigio, first omen. All right, so I'm not going to read none of that stuff. So I'm just going to get to the other section. Segundo presigio, second omen. Right, page 58. It says fourth omen, third omen, then fourth omen, then fifth omen. Okay, then the sixth omen. All right, here we go. Remember, this is the book from León Portillo, Visiones de los Vencidos. This is what the natives said. So when somebody's asking, so who's like narrating this, or who was saying this? This is our people saying this. El sexto prestigio. So I'm going to go here. We're not going to be too long on this book, but again, it's just more sources. More sources. That's all I'm trying to do. Hold on.
We also have somebody else who's in there like 50 different dialects of Nawa.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not an expert in the Nahuatl language. I'm learning how to pronounce the words. I'm not a teacher of it.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see here. Sorry, this is in Spanish. This is in English. So now we're going to see the translation. You guys saw where I got it from to make sure that we're honest here. All right. Mm-hmm. We're going to go to translation. It says here, the sixth ominous omen. It says, many times it was heard. A woman cried. She went shouting at night. She was giving loud screams. My little children, well, we already have to go far away. And sometimes she said, children, where shall I take you? Right? In Spanish, it says, hijitos míos, pues ya tenemos que irnos lejos. My children, now we got to go far, right? Like if they take you from here and they take you to Africa, that's far. For slavery, especially. Yeah, this is what it says in Spanish. I'm just translating it correctly. Hijitos, ¿a dónde os llevaré? Like, children, where can I hide you, basically? Where can I take you to hide you from this? So now we have at least two sources, right? Mm-hmm. That clarify, at least let us know, hey, the Llorona story wasn't necessarily like a woman drowning her kids.
Right.
No. And
we have a different version of it.
Right. And as you can see from the previous book, it says it goes deeper than just the folklore. Okay. Now, I'm going to move on from this book. I have this other one called Memoriales. Okay. I translated as well. It's right here, actually. And I'm going to go to page 153. So we can see here. Let me see. Page 153. It says here, I'm going to translate it real quick. It says, of the prognostic signs that the Lord of Mexico and the, let's see, of the prognostic signs that the Lord of Mexico and the Peralta saw, natural ones occurred before the destruction of Mexico. So you see how, like, this is the third source confirming once again there was apparitions here. Like, there was things giving us signs of, you know, our destruction coming. Again, connected to Llorona, the weeping woman. It's about to happen. My children, where are they going to go? They're going to get destroyed. You get what I mean?
Yes.
All right. So then now I want to bring you back down to this section, because it isn't just so much the apparition of a weeping woman, because the weeping woman, his story also has a lot to do with, you know, some biblical sense. Okay. So here we see now, again, the translation of this book. Oh, by the way, sorry, my bad. I forgot to mention it. The book is called Memoriales de Fray Toribio de Motolinia, manuscrito de la colección del señor Don Joaquín García. It was printed in 1903. Okay. Watch what he says here, which is very interesting. And then again, it's what the people told him. Part of the half of the paragraph, it says, and from this is commonly noted that before the death and plagues, comets usually appear, and before great famine, earthquakes or storms occur, and before the destruction of kingdoms and providence, terrible visions appear. Right? So he's talking about, like, hey, you know, it's kind of common when something bad's going to happen, we get some signs. Right? That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
It says, terrible visions. And thus we read that in the time of Antiochus was this ruler in Jerusalem. Okay. Now we're talking about a little bit of Bible stuff, but the weeping woman is also in there. And yet they mention the same thing happening to us here that is mentioned in the Bible. So it says here that the visions appeared, and thus we read that in the time of Antiochus, before the destruction of Jerusalem, the temple, and for a period of 40 days, horses were seen moving through the air, and people armed with spears, and kings, and squads of people, and many other things as appeared in the said chapter. So what he's saying, he's actually expressing something before he mentions what he's about to say. Okay, so he's like, you know, it's funny. Well, can I get that?
Yeah, hold on a second. Go ahead. Keep going. I got it.
You to go? Okay. So,
Wow.
if we continue, right? He says here in this right here. Watch this. I'm going to highlight this section.
That's all right.
Here we go, right here. And he says this.
No, I didn't make dinner.
So he's following up with the actual conversation, and he says, well, so it happened that before the destruction of Mexico, okay, remember, the apparitions, La Llorona, 10 years before, we're starting to see, like, what's going on. The destruction prior to 1492 is about to happen. And here in this book, another example, just like in the scriptures, it talks about Antiochus, before they conquered Jerusalem and destroyed Jerusalem, they were seeing apparitions, people fighting in the sky and shit like that, right? Here it says, well, so it happened that before the destruction of Mexico, before the conquest of the New Spain, before the Christians entered this land, people were seen in the air who seemed to be fighting each other. And at this sign, never seen in this land, and the Indians were very astonished. Now, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, well, where is that from? Okay? Show you this real quick. In case you guys don't know, the Bible should have 88 books, but because certain religions, they took away several. The book that he's talking about is 2 Maccabees chapter 5. Watch what it says. 2 Maccabees chapter 5, this is in the Apocrypha. About the same time, Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt. And then it happened that through all the city, for a space of almost 40 days, right? Same thing here. Before the Spaniards were showing, they were seeing horsemen running in the air, in clothes of gold, and armed with lances, and like a band of soldiers, and troops of horsemen in array, encountering and running one against another, with shakings of shields, and multitudes of spikes, and drawings of swords, and castings of darts, and glitterings of golden ornaments, and harnesses of all sorts. Wherefore every man prayed that the apparition might turn to good. Same thing here, right? We see it in Spanish. Translation says, well, so it happened, like before. He said, yeah, that's right. It happened over there in Antiochus time. This is prior to like 200 BC. Well, it so happened that before the destruction of Mexico, before the conquest of the New Spain, before the Christians entered into this land, people were seen in the air who seemed to be fighting each other. And at that sign never seen in these lands, and the Indians were very astonished. So all of this is connected. The apparitions in the sky, the weeping woman, La Llorona, the destruction of our land, or what's about to occur, right? Let me go here real quick. I think, let me see. Cuando ya los españoles vinieron a entrar, los otros tenían presos para sacrificar. Let's see, este tiempo decían los indios medio que así verían muchos días y horas antes de amanecer que levantaba claridad sobre el mar. Let me just translate this real quick. At least we can get it out the way and then we'll move on, okay? It's kind of like murmuring. Here it goes. So it says here, the bottom part, at the same time, the Indians of Mexico and Texcoco said that towards the east, they saw many days, 2 hours before dawn, a bright rising from over the sea, where the Christians later came. And that clear glow would rise for a good while and then disappear. And 1 or 2 hours later, it would be dawn, and that brightness was not that of the sunrise before it. Towards the same part of the east, they saw something like flames of fire. Others saw a great smoke rising from the sea to the sky, of such quantity and quality that it filled them with great amazement. This book here that I showed you before, this one, where it was talking about apparitions, primer presagio, segundo, tercero, that book here was confirming that. So far, that's 3 sources. So we have La Llorona, the Never Unrest. We have León Portillo, Visiones de Vencidos. And then we also have the manuscritos de la colección del señor Don Joaquín García, right? So these are 3 sources specifically talking about the history of the Llorona, the apparitions, the potential destruction. So just to pause real quick, what I want my gente to know is that whenever you hear La Llorona, like wipe that memory off your mind that it was about kids drowned. No. It's about you, brother. It's about you, sister. It's about us. It's about what occurred in 1492. It's about what we're still talking about, what a lot of us still are not happy with. Nothing has been the same since 1492. I think we all know that.
Okay.
You want me to pause just in case?
No. I'm with you. I'm reading back up on some of these in case you get any kind of questions or anything.
Oh, good. It's all good. Okay, so here we see, now it's going to talk about Moctezuma, okay? Give me, highlight this over here. Hold on real quick. Let me just get this one, all right? Oh, yeah. So now Moctezuma also saw apparitions, okay? We're not going to get this part. Okay, fine. I'll cut it off. So it says here, hold on. Is it ready? Okay, it says, not to defend Mexico, but it really seemed a response regarding his judgment and above a natural feeling, and was so fulfilled shortly after the Spanish came, and with little strong iron weapons, they conquered Mexico and laid it to the ground, which if they used any metal, it was of gold or copper or tin, which can't deal with iron. Ace Moctezuma, by such a response, he did not look at him as before. Hold on, is this it? Nah, you know what?
So we do have a question.
Yeah, go for it. Shoot it, because I don't.
Wedo wants to know: does it conflict with the Bible?
What?
The story you're telling us, does it conflict with the Bible?
No, it doesn't conflict. Matter of fact, here, since he brought it up, I'll mention it to you. So in the same, so we talked about the apparition of people fighting in the sky, right?
Okay.
All right. So now in 2nd Esdras, in the Apocrypha, okay, if you go to chapter 9, it kind of starts there, but to get to the point, matter of fact, I'm going to use this book here. Oxford. Hold on a second here. There's a lot of translations. I always advise people to read the different translations. New Oxford, so you don't get stuck on only one particular, I guess breakdown, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna go to this book here, and the reason I'm going to this one is because it's very clear to read. Okay, so give me a second. Let me go down. We're gonna go to 2nd Esdras and the Apocrypha. right here, okay? Hold on, give me a second. Hold on a second here real quick. Okay, this is second Esdras. All right, so to answer your question, it doesn't conflict. It's actually part of it. All right, so if you go to second Esdras chapter 10, I'm going to show you something real quick, okay? So it starts in chapter 9, but in this case, it's once again, it's a woman. It's a woman that's crying for her child, all right? So it says here, chapter 10, second Esdras, chapter 10, verse 1. But it happened that when my son entered his wedding chamber, he fell down and died. Pretty simple. So all of us put our lamps, and all my neighbors attempted to console me. I remained quiet until the evening of the second day. When all of them had stopped consoling me, encouraged me to be quiet, I got up at night and fled. And I came to this field, as you see, and now I intend not to return to the town, but to stay here. I will neither eat nor drink, but will mourn and fast continually until I die. Right? So as you can see, it says, then I broke off the reflection which I was still engaged and answered her in anger. This is someone talking to her now. And he says, you foolish of a woman, do you not see our mourning and what happened to us? So again, he's saying, you're crying for one child. Do you not see all of our people dead? Do you not see that? It says, for Zion, again, Zion, the mother of us all. Zion is Jerusalem, right? So how can a land be the son of a woman? It can't. It's metaphoric. You know what I mean? Allegory in a sense. So Zion is the people, and the mother is the nation, right? Like, let's say the mother is MESHIACHA. Like, that's who our mother is. We are her children, her child, right? So it's kind of giving you one example here. So without having to read all of this, I'm going to summarize it real quick, and I'm going to jump ahead. It's basically a guy trying to console this lady because she's mourning for her child that died. All right. So now we're going to go to verse 19. It says, so I spoke again to her and said, do not do that, but let yourself be persuaded. For how many are the adversities of Zion, meaning the land, and be counseled because of the sorrow of Jerusalem. You see? For you see how many our sanctuaries have been laid waste, like our lands, our altars thrown down, our temples destroyed. Did not that happen to our people here? Right? Everything.
Yes.
So now let's skip ahead. All right. So he's telling, hey, look, it wasn't just your child. It was a lot of us, a lot of our kids, you know, blah, 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 blah. Right. So then now we go to verse 25, 2 Ezra chapter 10, verse 25. It says, while I was talking to her, her face suddenly began to shine exceedingly. Remember, this was a woman crying for her child. All of a sudden, her face is starting to shine. Her countenance flashed like lightning, so that I was too frightened to approach her. And my heart was terrified while I was wondering what this meant. She, the woman that was crying for her kids, her child, suddenly uttered a loud and fearful cry. La Llorona. So that the earth shook at the sound. Did not we hear that the apparitions, the sound of a woman weeping for her children, right? It says, she suddenly uttered a loud, fearful cry so that the earth shook at the sound. And then he says, when I looked up, the woman was no longer visible to me, but a city was being built. So you see, you follow what I'm saying? So this is a woman crying for her child. He's trying to talk to her. Like, it wasn't just your child that died. A lot of us, of our people, died. And all of a sudden, as he's consoling her, she starts shining, and this lady now becomes a city. Okay? So now, I'm going to skip ahead. You have to read the whole chapter to like fully grasp what I'm saying, but by hopefully summarizing it, and you guys take your time to read it, you'll see what I'm saying. Then he says, verse 38, he answered me and said, listen to me, and I will teach you and tell you about the things that you fear. So he's asking this angel, the same guy here, Ezra. He's like, what is this vision? What just happened? There was a woman here, and now she became a city. I'm scared. Like, explain this to me. So he says, I'm going to explain it to you. He says, and tell you about the things that you fear. For the Most High has revealed many secrets to you. He has seen your righteous conduct, and you have sorrowed continually for your people and mourned greatly for Zion. This, therefore, is the meaning of the vision. The woman who appeared to you a little while ago, the one that was mourning, crying for her child, whom you saw mourning, and whom you began to console. You do not know do you not, I mean, say, you do not now see the form of a woman, but there appeared to you a city being built. And who told you about the misfortunes of her son? This is the interpretation. The woman whom you saw is Zion, La Llorona, in which you now behold as a city.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Over.
Since my Tariq Curry, Lucan Anapu said, my references earlier to the Pol Vu and the Sun narratives make elicits the differences between Mesoamerican thoughts and practices and what the missionaries said they were. Because he wanted to know what your sources were. I told him he gave 3 different sources, correct?
Right. Well, I mean, I'm giving you, actual historical sources, people that wrote this stuff down, that actually study these things, right? That got it from other writers that wrote about our people. Remember earlier, I had mentioned a guy named Sagahun, correct?
Yes.
Sagahun was a very important man at that time because through him, there were still some records about us. Now, regarding the Popo Bull concept and the sun, I'm not saying this is what they taught to our people. I'm sharing that this is what I see, the similarities. La Llorona, the Bible. As I'm reading it, and I'm like, so this weeping woman who was crying for her kids, that's the city. It's the same, that when you read the weeping woman of Ezra, it's the same concept. A woman crying for the destruction of her children. Okay. Right?
Because he says, no, I see the secondary sources. My point is that to understand this, you must understand the cultural and political context in which these missionaries created these texts.
What do you mean created these texts?
That's what
right. So
said.
Right, I get it. So when somebody says something like that, that tells me that you're kind of assuming that they gave us this narrative so then they could keep us in like a buffoonery stage. This is just people writing down what our people were sharing. That's it. They're not saying that, oh, yeah, this is what we taught. No, they're saying, hey, this is what they said. They saw an apparition. This is what.
Is this numbered like a Bible?
Which one?
What you're speaking, is it numbered like a Bible?
Okay, so this book, the Oxford Annotated, it's a Bible. It's just translated a little different, more clarity. This is just another version of the Bible. This is just another app I have.
Okay, it's just another version of the Bible.
Right. So, like, for example, the King James Bible, if I read it to you, a lot of you guys are not going to understand that shit. It's like Shakespeare. You know what I mean? You're not going to get it, right?
No, he says the mismo American sources differ from these colonial-based texts. This is why he sees similarities between, and no, that is not inaccurate.
Yeah,
we are lied to by all the elites. We are all slaves to them.
I don't understand then. Wouldn't that apply for the Papal Bull as well? I mean, they're the elites. They're the ones that could print that. Why would you believe the Papal Bull? I could say the same thing about the Papal Bull. Like, it's total bullshit. Why? Because the elites wrote it. I could say the same thing. Okay. So it's just perspective. You get what I mean? And like I said, I don't know Nahuatl. Like, I wish I did know, so I can read particular things further than Spanish and English. I think we have to get this narrative out of our minds that everything that we have is of the white man, so to speak, unless it's a book that you like. It's not from the white man. Like that, we can't do that. Like you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Same shit. You got to keep it non-biased. Right. You got to read it all, right, in order to get the full picture. Because you're going to get a little bit of truth from this one and a little bit of truth from that one, right? Correct?
Eso. That's it.
Okay.
We're submissive to their powers at B, Like, that's why I say you have to use different sources. I didn't just go by one book, 2 books, or 3, I still have some more. Like, I still have some more. You get what I'm saying?
No, I understand. I agree with you. It's, in order to get a proper picture, you have to look at it all.
Right. And remember, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and decipher it. The information that you're getting to best get what you feel that would be correct. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah, and remember, again, I had said that, it's going to kind of connect with the scriptures a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And in a way, and that's my belief. Like, I'm reading it, I'm connecting it, I'm seeing it. And I'm not just, I think you've seen my channel enough. I think you can tell I'm not just centered in like one narrative. Like, I literally expand my mind a little more,
So we have Taria Curry, Ty Lucan, and Apu said I would like to debate you. Right now is not the time to debate you.
You can come on my channel. We can do that.
You can go to his channel, and when he got a chance, put it on the post.
Yeah.
So, and then I'll pin it up there so he can look you up.
Yeah, for sure. We can do that all day.
Yes.
Just let me know what you want to talk about, debate specifically, and then we can be on the same page.
Okay.
We can debate Bible. We can debate history. If you're gonna, bring stuff about Papal Bull, I guess we could try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've tried to read the Papal Bull, but it's, and even it's funny. Even in the Papal Bull, it talks about their migration, going through mountains and seeing animals and stuff like that. So it's like, what is that? Is that a migration? Like from where? So.
Okay, because supposedly it said earlier today, I just finished giving the last lecture of the semester on Mesoamerican religions. I am a professor, linguistics, anthropologist, and what is it? Per picha. So he's some kind of professor. So a linguistics professor in anthropology. So yeah, I'll make sure we get your information so that he.
I posted the name right there.
Okay, I'll put it up there right now.
Just let me know what topic you want to go.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's continue. Here's another source. It's called the Tratado Único y Singular del Origen de los Indios del Perú. Right. So let me go back here. I'm going to translate it again in English, so you just don't worry about it. This is Library of the Princeton and University. And, it's kind of, let me pause a little bit. So you're saying in one way, Takaria Okuru, that the elites have the power and what I'm reading is wrong, but you're educated by them. Your academia is by the elites. Like, I don't have the academia like you do. I'm not a scholar. I didn't finish high school. I don't have none of that. My stuff is just me naturally reading. So I always find that kind of ironic, man. Just, so hopefully, we can all kind of think thoroughly about what we say. It says here, colección de los libros raros raros o curiosos que tratan de América, tomo cuarto, Diego Andrés Rocha, los origen de los indios, right? So as you can see, it's in Spanish. We're going to go to page 34. Once again, to confirm. Here, hold on. Here it goes right here. So here we see once more. Is it 34? I'm just trying to look for the apparition, honestly. Let me see. Gobernante Perfero, considero otro más que aparece alrededor por Juan Brown. Que tiene ovejas, otro tema. Hold on a second. Parecen voces, todos son las ovejas mías. Okay, let me check. Did I put it on page? Prodigios. No, I already covered that. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Hold on. Actually, you know what? If I don't find it, dude, I think that's it. Pretty much. I don't want to kind of go along with it with you guys. I think this was the page. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Mexico Studio. So let me share this with y'all. And again, this is what the writers were saying, right? But that's not like my narrative, so to speak, here today. And I shared that with you, bro. I said, I could go, Bible stuff on this, but that's not my point. I just want to give you guys some history about us. And it's tied in some sense to some of these particular biblical stories. Hold on a second. Let me copy this real quick. Boom. There it goes. So let me read this real quick to you guys, all right? And again, it goes all to the apparitions. It's going to mention other things as well, but then it relates to what I had just read to you guys before. It says in Mexico, when the great Captain Cortez entered, 10 very peculiar prodigies were observed which indicated the end of their monarchy. Okay. So this is source number 4. All right. So we're looking at this book here. Okay. No, hold on. My bad. No, not bad. Was it this one? Yeah. All right. So it says here, it says, which can be seen in Father Torquemada in book 2 of the Mexican monarchy in chapter 90. And among the prodigies, one was hearing at night the voice of a woman who loudly wept over the destruction of the Mexican children. You see that? The same thing happened with the 10 tribes before they exiled, as shown in 2nd Ezra chapter 9. It says 4, but it's 2nd Ezra chapter 9, which means the weeping woman. Remember, I said 2nd Ezra chapter 9 starts the story, and then it goes into chapter 10. So that's what he's referring to, that there was going to be a destruction here. The same loud voice that was heard here was heard over there. And then it says, where it says that a woman appeared to him weeping over the destruction of the tribes and explaining the vision of chapter 10, number 44. It says that this woman was Zion, mother of the Israelites and of the tribes that then went into exile, chapter 13. Right? So it says, thus in both the Hebrew and the Americans, at their end, Zion, their mother, weeps because although both had degenerated into idolatry, it is said, Deuteronomy 4:38, basically saying that even though both of us fell into idolatry, because of that, we both heard this apparition. So, other than that, man, that's pretty much it, bro. I don't really want to go further on. I could go longer, but I took basic notes so I don't like overwhelm your gente.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, homie. It's, like I said, it's look at the way I look at it. Some people are gonna believe, some people won't. It's just what it is. But I think the knowledge is important. Like I said, I don't think homeboy was being disrespectful. He believes the same thing, or he just he's read something else, some different information, and maybe you guys getting together can just be a powerhouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'd love to learn a lot more about that specific side of our people. Because I don't, like I said, I didn't go to school necessarily. I didn't, I told you, bro, I was asleep for like 30 years. I was asleep, totally asleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then one day, God said, okay, man, you need to change your life. Like what happens to a lot of us that have been through some shit.
And I appreciate you coming on and doing this. And there's other subjects I want to get on. I just figure I will I'm gonna look some things up, and that way I can pick and choose what I think are, because I think this did capture some of our people attention. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think this was something that some people, because I know I want to hear, but like, hey, wait a minute, that ain't what I thought. The La Llorona was, you know what I mean? It's completely different.
Yeah, and here's why I give credence to what I read, right? Other people can feel different about it. Maybe you guys don't believe in the Bible. Totally fine. I don't expect you to. I can't convince you. I'm not here to convince people. I know what I believe, and I know what I read, and I understand what I experience. I know my life. I know exactly what got me to where I'm at today, right? Mm-hmm. But one thing that I keep seeing, because like I was want to debunk this. I wanted to debunk our connection with the Bible 100%. That was what I wanted. But the more I dug, the more I found myself there. The folklore is one example. Yet funny, our diet is in there. Our clothing is in there. Some of our language is in there. Like, for example, if he does have linguistics history, in the Papal Bull, there's a name called Balaam Ak, something to that effect, right? Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I even put a note for myself to do that. Wow, that's crazy. I'm glad he brought it up.
Now, is there any questions that anybody wants to ask? I know Sindog's going to ask a question, but he hasn't yet. But I know Wedo's very happy with what we've heard. You know what I mean? He's enjoying this.
No. Okay. So in case I want to ask him, Tariakuri, have you ever heard of a name in Papal Bull? Because I actually read it there. It's called Balaam Akab. Balaam Akab. Like it's spelled like this: Ba'alam Ak Kab.
Okay. Now, this might be just up your alley, what you're talking about right now. Sindog says, has your guest ever heard of Bartolomé de las
Bartolomé de las
Casas?
Casas. Yeah, Bartolomé de las Casas. Yep.
Yeah, was a Spanish lawyer arriving as one of the first Spanish letters in settlers in America.
Yep.
Right?
He was a Jesuit. Yep.
Okay, so that's what he was asking. La Casas initially participated in the colonial economy built on a forced indigenous labor, but eventually felt compelled to oppose his abuses committed by European colonists against the indigenous. And Taria Curry Tialucan says Balam means jaguar in many Mayan languages.
Balaam means jaguar.
In many different Mayan languages.
Right. But do you know where the word Balaam originates from?
He wants to know, do you know where the Balam
originates from? The word Ba'alam.
I'm gonna try to do this once a month, Impala. I'm gonna work on the next subject and next when we can get Michigan, because it's he has a life too, so I just want to make sure we get it.
No, Impala he's been coming to my channel lately. Hey, what up, brother? Good to have you here, man. Thank you.
Now, because you might something a random language in the world that sounds similar does not mean common genetic roots. Borrowing, often similarities are due to chance.
Wow. It's gonna be difficult to really communicate much with you, because I can already tell. Because that's no offense to you, bro, but that's a typical excuse. Like, oh, random words, they all can match. Well, I mean, it's kind of awkward that Ba'alam is not a random word that not every nation use. There's only 2 areas where that name was used predominantly. Only 2 areas, nowhere else. And
since Maya Balam originated from Proto-Mayan.
Well, it's funny because
Proto-Maya.
Well, and what about the word
mythology?
So, like for example, the word Balam Akab. What does a apostrophe K-A-B mean? Since he's a linguist.
Okay. So he said this is mythology. Damn, I'm telling you, we're getting technical up in this.
It's all good.
Motherfucker. I like it though. I mean, this is good. This is why I think reading books like a lot, like just say politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right and left. You read a book and it's down the middle and it leads you a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. Something catches your eye and you go to that next book and it leads you a little bit farther and a little bit farther. Pretty soon you're so far left or right that you don't even know what the truth is anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of how I look at things, but it's good to know a little bit of things.
No, for sure. Let me
It says Tariq Curry says standard linguistics, but you assume that if words sound familiar, they must be due to common origin or borrowing.
I mean, I'm a true believer that similarities between people don't really change much.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really change much. I mean, I could understand it. I think what he really has a problem with is the Bible. I think that's what he has a problem with.
Okay.
More than anything.
I can't wait to see you guys
so let me
talk this out when you guys are on your channel, because then you can really go all out on this. You can
explain it. Yeah, you can explain it. Because obviously, texting, posting, it never helps. Let me share
there is also chance. Why? Because sound inventories, phonemes are infinite.
That's fine. Let me share a page with you real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And then we can kind of end it.
Yeah. Then I'll probably get back into the music for these.
Yeah, do your thing. I'll stick around, bro. I'll log out, but I'll chime in there and shit. I like the music you play. You ready?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is it showing? No lo veo.
No, it's not showing yet.
Okay.
Wait. Yes, there it goes.
So this is from a book I have called, hold on, let me see. I know I saved it. It's called Nexus Spoken Language, the link between the Maya and Semitic, right? In this particular case, we have the name called Balaam Kitse, Balaam Akab, right? And Mahuko Tach or Ik Balaam. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But it's funny because again, and again, things I could see what you mean by chance, but there's too many similarities. Like if there was one or two, yeah, you're right. But there's too many, right? So it says, since by now we see that these have to do with the Israelites' forefathers rather than Maya, it would be appropriate to analyze these names in Hebrew. So again, it's the pronunciation, right? So Baal is Lord, Am nation. So here, right here, Balaam Hitse. But I'm looking for this, Balaam Akab, right? So it says Baalim or Lam means lords, and Akab means to supplant. Yakab, right? Now he may say, well, yeah, I see what you're saying, but it's incorrect. It's wrong, and there's too many chances of similarity. Okay, that's fine. Let me show you this real quick. Blue Letter Bible. And we're going to go to Jacob, okay? So Jacob is technically of the 12 tribes, right? Jacob, my bad, I spelled it wrong.
And I think, who knows, you guys might end up being on the same page without even realizing it, huh?
Probably, dude. Check this out. So we see here the name of Jacob. Let me look for it. Here goes. Concordance. This is from Blue Letter Bible, right? Gives us a more in-depth understanding of the language. H3290. H3290 says what? Hold on.
Strong's H3290. Yaakov.
So there's a similar pronunciation, Jacob, right? But if you go to the root word of this word, which is H6117, watch this.
Strong's H6117. Akav.
AWKAB. And we have here AKAB. How is that so similar? Akab. Same pronunciation. Almost the same spelling.
Yeah.
I don't think coincidence is I don't believe in chance. Like I never believe in chance. Like, oh, that's just a coincidence. No. Life is not a coincidence, dude. Everything's done for a reason. You know what I mean? If that case, then we're just insulting like who we are as human beings, period. Let's see what else. Okay, so then here, let me show you the next page and then that's it. So here's page 14, and it actually gives us a little paragraph of what it says. The Bible has it that the forefathers of the people of Israel and Judah, one people, two lordships, was called Jacob, Yaakov, or Yaakab. Later to name Israel. His name is based on the Hebrew book root Akab, like Balaam Akab. Same pronunciation, almost the same spelling, meaning to supplant, as he was to supplant his elder brother Esau. Were you an Israelite of his time, you could have referred to him as Baal Yaakov, Lord Jacob. If you were referring to his immediate family and his successors, you might have him as Baalim Yaakov, Lord Jacob. You see the similarity? It's the way I see it is it's too close for comfort. Like I always say that. If it's too close for comfort, you got to investigate it. You can't just sit back and be like, oh, well, I don't believe in the Bible. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they not want to lie to you and make you think, yeah, you're just some savages that were here in 1492 when we conquered you guys?
Yeah, of course, they're gonna want their own agenda. They have their own agenda.
They don't want you to have any notion of you might just be more than what you are. Like I think I read what he said, and I asked him, yeah, maybe you can help me out understand it. And he said, yeah, if you follow our ways and something about conducting yourself and all this and that. Like I already do that. I already do that, and I did that finding the book. I didn't go to no church. I didn't go to no Christian. You know what I mean? I just wanted to change, and I repented, and I figured out a way of how to repent, and it took time, and I'm here now. 9 years later into my understanding, you know, I'm going to be 50 this year. You know, I started learning about this when I was 42, 41, something like that. I woke up late, bro.
No, I know. Trust me, I'm barely waking up now.
I was a pendejo, bro.
But all right, dog. Thank
Okay,
you
so-
again, and we'll hook up again soon, all right?
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you having me here. Thank you very much. Familia, thank you. Appreciate it. I hope I didn't offend nobody. Again, I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to express what I know. Hopefully, y'all can connect.
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay,
you
bye.
again, man. Have
All
a
right,
good
man.
one,
Hey,
dog.
hey, do me a favor. You going to play oldies?
Yes, sir.
Dude, play some Bretton Wood, bro.
Got you, homie. I'll do that right now.
I'll stick around. A rato.
Okay.
All right, peace, fam. Come on. All right, fam. So you guys know what I did, man. I hope you guys appreciate that shit. Hold on, I gotta do it.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
And for you guys that don't like me, and for you fuckers,
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
no offense, I'm a little harsh. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? There's like 13 people of you guys like watching and shit. You guys want to post something before I go? Because I'm about to go real quick. It's 9:57. You know. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. Hey, you guys want to come on, man? Somebody want to say something positive? Because I think I thought that was like one of the most positive. I don't know, sessions, classes I've ever done. You know what I mean? Like, it was the most positive ones. Like, there was no hate. We weren't angry. We weren't arguing. I was like, yo, man, this is what it is. You know what I mean? And da-da-da. So, let me know. You're welcome. I'll give you guys another 15, maybe. What is it? Yeah, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Nobody shows up, dude. I'm just going to call it out. And that's it. Oh, yeah. Whatever. But anyways, man, I really liked it. I thought it was good. I thought I appreciate you, Sonny, man. Like, this brother's a good dude, bro. It's hard to find good people. It's hard to find like real respectable men that will actually like keep their word, you know, and treat you the same way all the time. Until something like really stupid happens. Not like basic shit, like really stupid. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen nowadays. Nobody wants to come up. Everybody scared now? For real? I got a bunch of people always wanted to come up, man. And now you guys are scared. Okay, fine. Have a good night, fam. By the way, I just want to say this. Hold on a second. What? I just came to watch. Hold on. Let me see this. Anthony, this is. I just came in and watching from start. Soy Chicano from Oklahoma. Been in the truth many years. Glad to find. Oh, bro, that's good. Hold on. When you say the truth, you mean this right here, right? The stuff that they always like drive us to believe. But let me share something with you, my brother Anthony. Your heritage is way beyond this chapter. As a matter of fact, this chapter of Deuteronomy 28 is an icing on the cake of who you are. That's not even the beginning, brother. That's the icing on the cake. You get what I mean? So I'm glad you're here, bro. What up, Julio? What up? Hey, man, you okay, bro? Are you all right? I called you the other day, bro. Your phone was off and shit. I'm a little worried about you. Yeah, just rewind it. Rewind it, Julio. No te preocupes, güey. You're good. But anyways, no, hold on. Julio, you've been here a while. But this brother right here, listen, know this right now, that this right here, this chapter, this is not your main entry. This is not how you invite people into your home. That is the icing on the cake. You see, this is the dessert. Like after you invite people into your home, and then you give them the dessert. Deuteronomy 28, it is our dessert. Nobody knows that shit unless You can actually study it and believe it because you are those people. All right? You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to show you this real quick. Deuteronomy 28 is the dessert, bro. See, there's like, oh, the Israelites, that's how you determine that they're the people of the Bible. No, that's not it. That's not it. Because, like, you know what? If you really think about it, a lot of people have been enslaved. A lot of people have had their lands taken. A lot of people have their kings, changed. All of that stuff. You can go there. A lot of people have been on ships, not just Negroes. A lot of people have done that. This is not the initial, this is not the door to get in. This is the actual yard in the back that says, yeah, you were those guys. So you got to go deeper. But in case you guys don't know this, Canaanites, they want to start here. And then they tell everybody else that they don't fit these curses. So I'll say it like this. Deuteronomy 28:22. Matter of fact, Deuteronomy 28:27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou cannot be healed. When did you hear about Negroes getting smallpox here in the Americas? After 1492. That never happened to them. Do you want to know why that never happened to them? Because they brought that shit to you. Negroes from West Africa, Sierra Leone, brought smallpox to you. So if they were the Hebrews, how could they come with smallpox and kill you and then go and say that the Bible said that they were going to be killed by another nation with smallpox? Do you see how it doesn't make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Negroes never got smallpox in the Americas. Dude, we can sit here all day just to let you know. Maybe have one come up here. Deuteronomy 28:27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, emerods, scabs, and itch. Negroes in the Americas never had smallpox and never died out of that shit. As a matter of fact, they brought smallpox and you died out of that shit. Not them. It was you. I mean, again, you want to go further? Should we? Let's go deeper into verse 60. Watch this real quick. It says here, 61, and also every sickness and every plague which is not written, verse 60, I'm sorry. And moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid, and they shall cleave unto thee. When have you heard of Negroes having dying of smallpox for the most part? Not only having them, but dying from them. See, because all of us can get diseases, but some of us can't handle the deafness of the disease. So what happened? See, this is why it's important to understand the history of our people. I appreciate this brother Sonny, man, because he at least allowed me to share with you how the Weeping Woman is all about you. How the Weeping Woman is all about our history. Everything about it is of our history. All right. Enough of that. You guys have a good night. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. Hey, Sonny, bro, if you catch this class, man, I appreciate you inviting me to your channel, brother. I have a lot of love for you, respect, man. Thank you so much, bro. I hope our people that may not be into the Bible much, you know what I mean, but at least can come in and chime in and at least listen to some of the stuff that we're saying. Because, like, you should really be conscious and aware of how important you are. You are important to us. In case you don't know it, when 1492, they didn't enslave a few of us. They collectively enslaved all of us. So it's 2026. We have to collectively and unenslave us. You get what I mean? You're not alone, fam. It doesn't work like that. Have a good night.
Antes del nombre América, antes del hierro y la cruz, había pueblos que hablaban con la tierra y con la luz. No era un mundo vacío, era ciencia y corazón. La historia empezó aquí mismo, aunque el invasor no pida perdón. Sembramos tiempo en el cielo cuando el mundo no sabía contar. El cero nació en la selva, el maíz nos enseñó a pensar. Calendarios y medicina, ciudades frente al sol. No era mito ni leyenda, era pueblo, era voz. No fue descubrimiento, fue invasión. No fue silencio, fue opresión. Antes del mapa, antes de ti, había pueblos completos que no vas a entender. No éramos pasados, somos raíz, aunque nos llamen historia, seguimos aquí. Desde el barro del origen hasta el jaguar ancestral, desde la selva profunda hasta el águila solar, ciudades que eran mundos cuando Europa se partió, capitales que flotaban mientras el viejo mundo ardió. En la montaña aprendimos a vivir sin dominar, sin rueda y sin bestias, pero sabiendo gobernar. Caminos y comunidad, trabajo como misión. El poder no era conquista, era responsabilidad. No fue progreso, fue despojo. No fue fe, fue antojo. Antes del mapa, antes de ti, había pueblos completos que no vas a entender. No éramos pasados, somos raíz, aunque nos llamen historia, seguimos aquí. Hey. 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 Quemaron nombres, vendieron memoria, alzaron fronteras sobre nuestra historia. Nos dijeron atraso para robarnos la voz, civilización a balazos y la fe pa'l control. Pero la tierra recuerda, la raíz no se rinde, aunque cambien las banderas, la herida no se extingue. De norte a sur somos la misma raíz, la misma herida que se niega a morir. De norte a sur nadie sobra aquí, Latinoamérica sigue y no va a pedir permiso para existir.
Del mar los vieron llegar, mis hermanos emplumados eran los hombres barbados. de la profecía esperada. Se oyó la voz del monarca de que el Dios había llegado y les abrimos la puerta por temor a lo ignorado. Iban montados en bestias como demonios del mal, iban con fuego en las manos y cubiertos de metal. Solo el valor de unos cuantos les opuso resistencia, y al mirar correr la sangre se llenaron de vergüenza, porque los dioses ni comen ni gozan con lo robado. Y cuando nos dimos cuenta, ya todo estaba acabado, y en ese error entregamos la grandeza del pasado, y en ese error nos quedamos 300 años esclavos. Se nos quedó el maleficio de brindar al extranjero nuestra fe, nuestra cultura, nuestro pan, nuestro dinero, y le seguimos cambiando oro por cuentas de vidrio, y damos nuestras riquezas por sus espejos con brillo. Siglo XX nos siguen llegando rubios y les abrimos la casa y los llamamos amigos, pero si llega cansado un indio de andar la sierra, lo humillamos y lo vemos como extraño por su tierra. Que te muestras humilde ante el extranjero, pero te vuelves soberbio con tus hermanos del pueblo. Oh, maldición de Malinche, enfermedad del presente, ¿cuándo dejarás mi tierra? ¿Cuándo harás libre a mi gente?
Y va de nuevo mi Tony. Mexicano bandido, todo el barrio prendido. Siempre ando bien cuido, siempre poniendo ruido. Mexicano está el grito de guerra, yo defiendo mi tierra. No me dejo de nadie, yo cuido a los míos, mi raza se aferra. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera, yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera, yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Me voy tendido, me voy empinando mi bote, un poco mareado por la bebida y el borlote. Me tiene hasta la riata la gente con su mitote, pero me despreocupo, me pelan todo el garrote. Me para la chota, ya es por mi apariencia, que hay tanto delito, que hay tanta demencia. Yo no cargo nada, no más mi presencia. Pinche puerco joto, atento feliz. Unos paisas de hachís, mis paisas en el gabacho, bien truchas con la polis. Loco en Guanajuato, con los ojos bien tumbados, de coto con el quesada, rifando por todos lados. Atento si prendo un blunt en cabina cuando grabo. Represento Nuevo León, junto a mi carnal el Davo. Cuando voy pa' Jalisco, el pasado está olvidado. Con el perro de la C, bien grifo, pedo y enfiestado. Chécate mi banderón, unido como había soñado. Bien bajado ese balón, compa lefty bien bajado. Puro hip hop mexa, hasta que amanezca. Pásenme un mezcal y que no se apague la yesca. Ya saben que aquí andamos pilas pa' lo que se ofrezca. Si escribo estas rimas es pa' que se enorgullezca.
Verde marihuana, blanca cocaína, roja la sangre que escurre de una nueva herida. Yo salí de la ruina, nunca se me olvida. Con disciplina y respeto sigo en siempre la movida. Ando bien high, la vida es un freestyle. Disfruta lo que hay, vivo entre el bien y el mal, carnal. Crazy life todo el día, viendo live. Pinto tu barda con spray, lo que canto es real. Azules y rojas las sirenas que me persiguen. No suben pa' la virgen, salen todos cuando chifle. Mi barrio no lo pisen, que andamos todos grises. Maldito policía, no quiero que me revises. Prende la mota en Canala o en Hitter. Ando con mi flota y el dealer. Tenemos lo que se te ofrezca, tú nada más pide. Me dijo mi madre que de la envidia me cuide.
Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera.
Ya, ábranse cabrones, llegó el mexicano partiendo sin necesidad de palanca. Todos jugamos en la misma liga, yo soy titular, tú ves desde la banca. Disfruto cada cosa que me pasa, colaboro y mi carrera se levanta. El mismo cabrón que antes no tenía nada, se la pasa viajando y dice que canta. Por eso me caga enfermarme de la garganta. Pero aguanta, traigo mata natural y humo de planta. 2, 3 cabrones dando lata y yo haciendo más plata. De esto la vida se trata y pa' que sepas no es barata. MC Davo los desbarata con cada escalón que sube. Yo tuve la suerte de hacerme fama en YouTube. Hay 2, 3 raperos de antaño que me bajé de su nube. Los mandé pa' su casa y de premio hasta les pagué el Uber. Si alguien me tira es porque sabe bien que domino el negocio y quiere de mi parte. No quiero darlas de grande, pero si me tiras la neta me toca humillarte. Soy capitán, llevo el estandarte. Somos muy pocos los que hacemos arte. Este flow si es de Marte, tú dale like y comparte.
México lindo y bandido, diario a Diosito le pido que me cuide a la familia si un día el cora ya no late. Estoy bendecido porque me cuidan los míos. Orgullosamente me exatamos locos de remate. Jaque mate, no hable de volar si viene gateando. La cosa por la frontera se pone violenta, no importa el rango. Toda la raza jalándole duro, si hay algo seguro es la muerte en donde ando. El sudor y la sangre en la frente, los de alzada controlando. Se roban la atención, ya saben quiénes son. Vatos locos con sazón como el de un corridón. No quiera tomarme el pelo si ando todo pelón. Levantando la bandera, viva México cabrón. Es el perrito de la C. La bandera con un águila, Simón, mi tierra es esta. Me vale si mi piel o si mi acento les molesta. Acá jalan horas extras, nunca duermen la siesta. Están los que van pa'l jale y los que la viven de fiesta. Otros que en el pintón se tatúan de corazón. 3 colores en el pecho, morirían por su nación. Aunque su puto gobierno los puso en la situación de no terminar la escuela y terminar en la prisión. ¡Viva México, ladrones! ¿Qué hubo, el expresidente? Ya saben que por mí policías chinguen a 20. Y ahí están mis 20 pa' la cagua. Aguas, que es tierra caliente de Chiapas hasta Chihuahua. Wow, 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 yipi yo, yipi yucas. Guanas, Montequín, Aguas, Tijuas y San Lucas. San Luis Potoyes, Mataulipas, La Puebluca. Dime si o no, loco, acá tienen lo que buscas.
Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Puro hip hop mexa, perros, 2023. Ey yo, ey yo.
Somos la santa carnal.
Ey, ey, los machidones de la plaza.
Oye, DJ Dunde que en los scratches. Desde alzada, mi perro. No saben quién soy o sí. Oye.
Yo,
yo, yo. Las líneas que parten el mundo. Yo, el meridiano.
Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
En una simple frase te explicaré cómo es mi gente. Si maltratas a un carnal, te devora la serpiente. Emplumada, va en picada, desquiciada el águila real. Le arrancará la cabeza a quien dañó su nopal.
Somos un ejército cautivo esperando la señal pa' comerme al enemigo. Huitzilopochtli, dime si es rival o amigo. Que del ejército mexica tus guerreros siguen vivos.
Soy un monstruo con la pluma, mis rimas envenenadas. Hoy me llaman Quetzalcóatl, soy la serpiente emplumada. Dueño de la tempestad y del tempo está muy claro. Un diluvio de verdad, en la instrumental soy claro.
Certero en mi disparo, y Luis Camino, el flechador del cielo. Pero con rimas, cultura de mi tierra que nunca se acaba. Con águilas y estrellas que vuelan desde la nave. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
Como aquí, bro, te juro no existen dos. Si voy a creer en alguien, solo va a ser en mi Dios. Yo me encomiendo a mi madre, que me cuida y me protege de sierras. Amor de tonas y claro, sí, amor de mi madre tierra.
El que nunca falla, el de sangre maya. El que va dejando huellas al que buscan y no hallan. El que da la talla, el que triunfa y calla. Al que copian y se basan, soy el calendario maya. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa yo, la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
Yo soy guerrero de orgullo moreno. Mis dioses son verdaderos. La Cozontli es el que cuida mis caminos y senderos.
Mi tierra pinta paisajes de autor, la naturaleza es una obra de amor donde el artista se expresa. Mira y aprecia el arte de Xochipilli, mi diosa de la belleza.
La guerra, el arte tienen cercanos roces. Netzahualcóyotl, rey con tintes de dioses. Un guerrero, poeta y muy pocos lo conocen. Hoy te lo recuerdo yo, el Cenzontli y 400 voces.
Guerreros y leyendas que la historia a veces calla. Dioses de un ayer, de un hoy y de un mañana. Yo me encomiendo a Cuauhtémoc y Pachita es quien me sana. En mi sangre sigue viva la cultura mexicana.
Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
Fam, I was gonna finish it up right now, but I have a couple brothers that have been here, and I actually like it. This dude has like 18 million views in his video. I'd never heard of him. I was like, what? I played him once, but you know, we need to play him today, and then we out. He said some powerful shit. As a matter of fact, let me see if I could play his video. Will they block it? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna play his video. If they block me, then I'm just gonna argue about them excluding that shit from our live. Okay? So just let you know. This is the official last song. I just find it interesting, man. Yeah, let me do it this way. And then this is the last song. Hope you guys appreciate it. All right, let's go.
Si preguntan quién soy, qué llevo, a dónde voy,
de Tierra Santa.
soy de donde nací, donde voy a morir,
Mi Tierra Santa. Ey. Yo soy la tierra, la sangre, los sueños, las ganas, el hambre, la luz en los ojos de mi santa madre. Hechos de barro, de rama, del viento, de hueche de carne, el sol cae en mi brazo por la tarde. Si preguntan quién soy mi tierra, curtida de gobierno, de estafa, de guerra. Soy el hornero mostrando la sala, la vida, la muerte, la pluma y la bala, la soledad del rico, el sueño del pobre. La verdad es que el gobierno no se esconde, las huellas perdidas, el cuándo y el dónde. Ninguna dictadura va a poder borrar mi nombre, porque al futuro vengo de Tierra Santa. Latinoamericano llora, canta. Tengo la sonrisa celeste y blanca, si subo la mirada la luna se levanta. Yo voy al futuro, vengo de Tierra Santa. Latinoamericano llora, canta. Tengo una sonrisa celeste y blanca, si subo la mirada la luna se levanta. Mi cicatriz, mi historia, mi fama, mi gloria, mi pena por panas desaparecido, memoria. Va por los guachos, carnales, puñetas, curices, chapales, al mundo le tiembla el piso por la euforia. Busco la paz en Bolivia, las calles de Chile, me busco en invierno el aguardiente de Colombia. Vengo del barrio del tango y llego al meridiano para borrar con la mano la línea divisoria. Si preguntan quién soy, qué llevo, a dónde voy, soy de Tierra Santa. Soy de donde nací, donde voy a morir, mi Tierra Santa. Si preguntan quién soy, qué llevo, a dónde voy, soy de Tierra Santa. Soy de donde nací, donde voy a morir, mi Tierra Santa. Yo vine al mundo a defender mi tierra, soy el salvador pacífico en la guerra, me voy a morir luchando. Estoy firme como un venezolano, soy Atacama, Guaraní, Cochabamba, Tucano. Si quieren tirarme el país, lo levantamos. Los indios construimos los imperios con las manos. Voy al futuro, vengo con mis hermanos, de diferentes padres pero no nos separamos. Soy el fuego del Caribe y un guerrero peruano. Le doy gracias a Brasil por el aire que respiramos. A veces pierdo, a veces gano, pero no es en vano morirme por la tierra que amo. Y si los de afuera preguntan cómo me llamo, mi nombre es latino y mi apellido americano. Si preguntan quién soy, qué llevo, a dónde voy, soy de Tierra Santa. Soy de donde nací, donde voy a morir, mi Tierra Santa. Si preguntan quién soy, qué llevo, a dónde voy, soy de Tierra Santa. Soy de donde nací, donde voy a morir.
mis cicatrices, mi historia, mi fama, mi gloria, mi pena por panas desaparecidos, memoria.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.